Blade 2 is one of the coolest vampire movies ever made. Great action, cool atmosphere, and is just a star-studded cast. So naturally, it became a movie tie-in game. And what are movie tie-in games famous for? Rush development, low budgets, and bad controls and gameplay. Blade 2, the movie, awesome. Blade 2, the game, pure diabolical pain. Blade 2 follows the half-vampire, half-human vampire hunter Blade the Damphir, the legendary Daywalker, after his mother was bitten by Deacon Frost. After this, Eric Cross Brooks became a half-vampire, which has most of the strengths of being a vampire with very few of the weaknesses. A Daywalker with eternal life that still hungers for human blood. He uses these gifts to hunt down and destroy the very vampires that created him and his mother. Blade was created by writer Marv Wolfman and artist Gene Colan for Marvel Comics in July 1973. Now, Blade was known for being a black superhero back in the 70s when it was just him, Black Panther, Luke Cage, and Storm. But he became way more popular in the 90s with Wesley Snipes' interpretation of the legendary Black Damphir, actually creating a trilogy of movies directed by Stephen Norrington, Guillermo del Toro, and David S. Goyer, the man who wrote all three films. Today we're going to be playing the video game adaptation of Blade 2, the one directed by Guillermo del Toro, the guy who made Hellboy, Pacific Rim, and The Shape of Water. But this isn't the only thing Blade 2 is known for. This movie is packed to the brim with stars like Chris Christopherson, Ron Perlman, Norman Reedus, Donnie Yen, and of course, Wesley Snipes. Blade and this elite unit of hunter-killers must work together to destroy an evil mutant strain of vampires called the Reapers, led by Nomak. Blade 2 is a must-watch if you love action films or martial art films. Hell, even just superhero films in general. But the game, on the other hand, is another story. Blade 2 the game was made by Mucky Foot Productions, a UK company made up of former Bullfrog employees. Mucky Foot Productions made games like Urban Chaos and Startopia and Blade 2? That's it? But Mucky Foot Productions didn't even want to make Blade 2. They wanted to make a game called Skyships. Mucky Foot pitched Skyships to Activision, but they passed on it. Now, while Activision passed on publishing the game, they were impressed by Mucky Foot's work and offered them the Blade franchise, taking Skyships' combat system and giving it a Blade 2 presentation. But because everything they worked on was a financial flop, they weren't given the luxury of time or money to work on Blade 2. Blade 2 was a commercial failure, selling less than 500,000 units across both platforms, and its failure was indirectly responsible for the closure of Mucky Foot Productions. See, after finishing Blade 2, Mucky Foot began work on two more film adaptations: Bulletproof Monk for Empire Interactive, and The Punisher for THQ. THQ was unimpressed with Blade 2 and cancelled The Punisher, which left Mucky Foot unable to complete Bulletproof Monk without letting staff go. They spent several months repitching Skyships to various publishers. But everyone saw how bad Blade 2 was, so the company closed in October of 2003. One of the cool ideas of the Blade 2 game is that it's actually a sequel to the film rather than a direct adaptation, taking place between the events of Blade 2 and Blade Trinity, set 6 months after the Blade 2 film. Blade and Whistler come across a vampire plot to create Reapers again, except the vampires, like a German political party from 1933, decide to create a super race, a race of super vampires, even more powerful than the Reapers. So of course, you play the Daywalker Blade as he rids the world of these vampires. The game has 4 campaigns, where you use your martial arts and weapons to defeat vampires and collect glyphs without getting yourself killed.
It's a Somebody please tell God that I am not his strongest soldier, and stop giving me these battles wrong, bitch.
The gameplay is punishment incarnate. Just to put it into context, I sat here and played Marvel Rivals from bronze to fucking diamond instead of playing this shit. 6 to 8 hours of Blade 2 is worse than 40 hours of grinding ranked. Let's start with the worst aspect of the game, the 360-degree combat system. Your left stick controls Blade's movement. The face buttons do nothing but jump. They don't attack. Instead, every single punch, kick, and strike is mapped exclusively to the right analog stick. You flick it forward, Blade attacks forward. Snap it left, you attack with a spinning back fist. The big idea, according to the developers, was a revolutionary 360-degree combat system. This makes Blade 2 into a martial arts twin-stick shooter. That's the first problem and biggest problem with the system, is that you can't control your camera. The whole game plays like an N64 game. It's supposed to feel like Blade's a one-man army, fighting off enemies from all sides. Sounds good, right? Then you attack someone behind you, or to the side of you, and it's your worst attack option. Then if you just attacked punching forward. You have to time all of these attacks as well to get combos, but most enemies, since they're naturally surrounding you, intercept these attacks, stopping you from doing combos. Blade 2's main game mechanic sucks. To successfully beat the game, you need to use guns. That means the best option is to avoid the main mechanic of the fucking game to play it. You're eating the cone while skipping the ice cream because it's toothpaste mint chip. That and the levels. Why, on God's green earth, are there so many escort missions where I can accidentally turn those people into ketchup paste? Boss fights where I can't hit the guy because he is moving too much and the attacks can't connect. Levels that are 20 minutes long with no checkpoints, where one mistake at the end makes you restart. Fuck it, I'm gonna boot up Marvel Rivals and have a 0-15 Blade main yell slurs at me while I get demoted. That's actually more fun.
Jump!
Right. There is a boy.
Who's this? Oh, stupid bitch.
The funny thing is, if you turn this game into a shooting gallery with your golden eye skills, this game can be beaten in 4 hours. On paper, Blade 2 does everything a movie tie-in game should do. Adding to the story of the game instead of butchering it. Adding unique combat mechanics that try to put you in the shoes of the legendary Damphir. On paper, it sounds incredible. In practice, that's the key thing here. Practice, it's absolute chaos. And while technically not the worst game I've played on this channel, it is the one I've hated playing the most. And I started to play it thinking it would be fun bad. I wanted to play a fun bad video game, especially after seeing comments on other videos. But this game sucks. If you like this video, like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.